Welcome back. I'm so glad you decided to come back and learn about the next step of my research process. So this process involves looking at the key takeaways that we highlighted in our previous video and drilling down and deciding what the information is that we are learning about that particular key takeaway, and then trying to decide what type of card it should go on and the value of the card. And so to talk about those, you can either go back to the playlist that I have under Zettelkasten, where I explain the two matrix that I use, the value matrix and the type matrix, or you can just keep watching this video and I can just review that again with you right now. Okay, so here you can see our value matrix. On the value matrix, we have basically four options that we want to look at when we're considering the information to help us determine what card or what value the information has, and then we'll use that to determine what card we want to put the information on. So if we go back to our research article, the one with the turquoise blue that we talked about in the previous video for our key takeaways, and we can scroll down, we're going to be looking for some additional information. So you can see here I have ethical leadership and what it is. And if I scroll down a little bit further, I can see that there's Eisenweiss's ethical leadership. I've now added that in purple. And if I continue to scroll down, there's the information about the control. But here we go. Here's a definition about ethical leadership that I've highlighted. I've gotten some more information about it. And now the next step is to kind of put this in my own words within my head and determine whether this is valuable or not. And if it is valuable, what type of card I may want to put it on. Now I know for my purposes that right here I'm doing a definition of ethical leadership. So let's keep that in mind and we'll go back and take a look at the matrix. As we look at the matrix, you can see the first option there in the black square says that the information is not practical nor useful, so not necessary for the current objective or any future ones. Well, I'm defining ethical leadership. Clearly, I thought it was important enough because I highlighted it as a key takeaway, and then I did actually find in the research where it was defined. So then if we look at the purple box in the upper left-hand side of the matrix, we see practical and useful information, but not necessarily new or applicable to the current objective. So in this case, basically what I'm saying is, okay, ethical leadership, the definition, is it new? No, it's actually a quote from a research article that was published by Brown et al. In 2005. So it's not new. In my mind, it is applicable to the current objective because I am writing about strategic planning and leadership with regards to artificial intelligence, but that's not a guarantee that I'm actually going to be using this in my dissertation. Then we have the light lilac colored box in the lower right-hand side of the matrix. Novel, but not necessarily practical or useful to the current objective, but could be in the future. So novel, we've already established that the definition of ethical leadership here is not new. It's nothing really exciting. It's been talked about for a long time, and in this case since 2005. Then our sweet spot, or the best, is the white matrix in the upper right-hand corner, where it says the sweet spot of being new and applicable to the current objective, it induces a state of excitement. So when I think about the definition of ethical leadership, I think it's practical, I think it's useful, it's not necessarily new, and I wouldn't go so far as to say it's something that induces a state of excitement. But with this in mind, let's go ahead and switch to the type matrix and see what card is recommended. Okay, so now that we're looking at the type matrix, you can see it does follow the same kind of color scheme and layout, and that's intentional to make it easy to identify the type of card that is needed. So again, we'll start with the lower left-hand corner, the black box. It says cross it off the list. No sense wasting any more time on this takeaway. So if I were using an analog card, I would go ahead and just draw a line through it if I felt that it met this metric. In the digital Obsidian world, I can just backspace it out and delete and clean it up so that I don't have it there. Alternatively, you could use the strike through font option to cross it off, but I don't like that in my cards, and I feel better just having it be clean and easy to use. I don't necessarily want to be reminded of something that I took the time to look at and then decided to discard later. That's just my personal preference. Next, if we look at that upper left-hand purple box of the matrix, it says, this is a good observation with some applicability. Keep it on the bib card for this objective. So in this case, it's a good observation. It's on the bib card. But is that enough? Is just having it on the bib card and then trying to remember that, okay, Zhang talked about it, is that what I want to do with this definition of ethical leadership? Not so sure. Then we have, this is a novel idea, but not currently applicable. It can most likely be a term, concept, or theory that can be revisited again. Now, in reading the type of card, while I felt like it was a good observation with some applicability, the fact that it can be revisited again does appeal to me. And I am defining something, which to me means it's a term. And so that tells me right there that I need to create a term, concept, or theory card for my definition of ethical leadership. Obviously, I don't go through these matrix for every single key takeaway. I've done it enough now that my muscle memory kind of knows which card to use based on the value of the information. But if you're just starting out and you're kind of questioning or second guessing whether or not it should be a main card, just stay on the bib card, or be a term, concept, or theory card, this matrix is here to help. And then if we look at that upper right-hand corner, the white square, you can see, again, this was the part that we got excited about. This is the one that we found really stimulating. That means it's new and applicable, and that we do definitely want to include it in our main boxes or in our Zettelkasten as a main card, because we're probably going to be so excited about it that we'll be making connections to other cards based on the information on that card, and that's what leads to us being able to write about it. So in this case, the concept of identifying the landing zone, right? So we want to identify the landing zone, meaning where is the data that we're learning from our research or from a book, where is that going to go within our Zettelkasten? The type matrix and the value matrix are tools that are there to help you when you're first getting started out and you haven't really built up that muscle memory on where to put things. In the next video, I'll actually show you the cards for some of the things that I had identified as key takeaways in reviewing this research. Specifically, we'll take a look at that definition of ethical leadership so you can see how it translated from a key takeaway to a card in my own words, written in a rough draft format, so that I could literally pull it into anything I wrote where I felt it provided the right information. If you have any questions, please be sure to comment below and subscribe if you're finding this information helpful. You should also see that there is a new playlist that has been added to the channel on questions and answers pertaining to Zettelkasten. I'm starting to get in a few questions, or I'm learning some things as I move along that I want to share with you. The questions that I'm answering have come in either through the comments here in YouTube, questions emailed or communicated to me directly, or even some questions that I have come across on Reddit. I hope you find this helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye!